he was a top 30% DBs coach throughout his entire time that he was in the NFL. That was put out by Matrix Analytical.
Interesting.
I don't understand all the numbers that they throw into it. It's crazy stuff. But
if you've watched the Bills over the last 5 years, the reason they've been so winning is not because of Josh Allen. It's been because of their defense.
Yes.
So,
well, Josh Allen has a little bit to do with it.
Nah.
Ryan's going to hurt you if he hears this.
Ryan, I said what I said.
45, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30. He's going to go. Holy cow.
Big Red Junkies.
Day by day, he gets better and better. He gets better and better. He's the MVP. Oh, man, woman, and child, he just turned this stadium inside out.
Big news last night with Evan Cooper deciding to step down or
we had
get
the
pushed
old
out.
what the fuck show that we had to put together real quick. Because what the fuck?
Yeah, we didn't know. Still don't know exactly what happened with Evan Cooper, but we don't want to get into speculating on anything like that. But you can't imagine it's that good if it happened this urgently.
Yeah, it was, and the fact that it seemed like it was pretty unexpected from the majority of the staff. Didn't see it coming.
Yeah, you've heard from a couple different local media people this week that there had been rumblings, that there have been rumors that there might be something going on. Gary Sharp on 1620 in the morning, he does a Saturday morning podcast with a couple of our friends over at Hale Varsity, and he mentioned this morning that he'd gotten a text from somebody in the industry outside of Nebraska football on Tuesday asking why we were looking for a DB's coach. Kid's initial response, his gut reaction was like a DB assistant. Like, I don't know what you mean. Like, why would we be looking for a DB's coach? So it sounds like maybe this was known internally a little bit prior to the
I feel like it had
resignation.
To be.
Yeah.
But between the time that I started drinking last night when all this news initially started to this morning when I woke up, there's been a lot of new things happen.
Yeah, there's been a lot of new things happen. I know that when I called you, I was like hitting the panic button and you're like feeling no pain. You're like, I don't know, buddy. Sounds like it's probably something we should talk about tomorrow.
Yeah, dude. I was like, oh, well, that's not good.
Yeah, me and Jed are like panicking, and you're like, I don't know. Yeah, sounds like a thing.
Then this beer can't fix, I guess.
R.I.P. Evan Cooper. Whatever happened, whatever the situation, I know that, but I love the guy. Like, I absolutely love the guy. We're in the middle of our countdown. He was supposed to be number 47 for us, or 46 coming out. I can't remember for sure. But obviously that has to change.
He can't stay on the list if he's not on the team.
No, he can't stay on the list. But that show's already out. I mean, we talked about him. We gushed about how he's, one of our top recruiting guys. Like, he's Matt Rule's number one scout guy. When we talked about Jeremiah Charles, we referenced the fact that they were watching somebody else. They were there to see somebody else play a basketball game, and Cooper and Rule were both like, "Who the fuck is that guy?"
Yeah.
And Cooper went out in the hallway on his iPad and was, next thing you know, Jeremiah Charles is at Nebraska.
Yeah. And so, as terrifying as that news was last night, to most people, apparently,
the news this morning is exciting.
There's some good hope this morning.
Before we get to that, this is what Jed had to say.
Good, bad, or indifferent, the loss of Evan Cooper sucks. And I hope that whatever happened isn't something harmful to somebody else. And I hope everybody involved in the situation can find some sort of healing and be able to move forward in a positive direction. Of course, the scuttlebutt immediately was Bill Busch. He is a great talent evaluator, a high-quality coach. One of the biggest reasons why he would have been such a good hire and why he was talked about so much, was because he's still here, but also the timing sucks. If this would have happened in February, different conversation. Don't know if I would have been on the Bill Busch train as much as I was last night, but the timing is what the timing is. That's why Bill Busch was brought up. It would have been a good 1-year fix, and then they would have gone and hired somebody else after the season. But bringing in John Butler, wow. I think it's pretty clear that this was in the works before. I know John Butler was not working at the time, but still the fact that this would come out in the time frame that it has both the resignation and the potential hire of John Butler, tells me that there's been conversation. And with the word that he wants to be a defensive coordinator in the NFL and or college, we always kind of knew that they were going to promote from within when Tony White left. Some said it might have been the linebackers coach Dvorak. Some said it could have been Evan Cooper. I think it's pretty safe to say that it's going to be John Butler once Tony White leaves. I love it. I can't wait to see what he's able to do back in college again after he hasn't been in college for quite some time. It's a different world than when he was in college last time. But I think his motivation is going to be very high, and being around guys like Matt Rule has assembled, I think is only going to be beneficial.
Jed's not even here, and he's stealing all the things I want to talk about.
Well, I mean, first I want to address the rumors about Bill Busch. And, last night I was watching a lot of the people on Twitter get going about Bill Busch this, Bill Busch that, and I was kind of like, I don't know. I felt like if Bill Busch was somebody that wanted to be on Rule's staff and Rule wanted him on the staff, especially with the openings of the new coaching, like the new coach branches that are out there, and with Bill Busch's recruiting prowess, because he's a great recruiter. He proved himself really well down at LSU, but on many other stops, including at Nebraska. I didn't see it. I didn't like if it was the last ditch. This is what we have to do. I think it would have been, in my mind, it would have been equal to or tantamount to him hiring somebody internally that he already has on the staff. Shifting gears though, like this is a hire that if he decided that this happened back in February or March or April, I could if this guy's available, I could see you just straight up replacing Evan Cooper as a DB's coach with this guy with the experience that he brings.
Yep,
it's insane.
It's a phenomenal find. And yes, he technically wasn't working, but he was going to be working somewhere come the start of the season.
Well, he was waiting for the right opportunity.
Yep.
He probably would have gone on somebody's staff as an analyst, probably wound up back in the NFL at some point, or just taking the year off and waited, because heaven knows the carousel that is the ever-changing coaching landscape in the NFL.
Well, and what did you find out when you were looking, why wasn't he with the Bills anymore?
So there's a bunch of articles out there, and he did interviews right afterwards. Basically, like, him and Sean McDermott, they actually went to the same high school together. They've run in the same circles. They didn't go to high school at the same time, so it's not like they were boys or anything like that. But they were extremely familiar with each other and with each other's styles and coaching background. But it seemed to me like he was on staff with the Bills for 5 years as the DBs. In that time frame, the Bills finished with a top 5 DB unit 3 times. They finished 3rd just last year as he was the DBs and passing game coordinator, which was the exact same title that Cooper held at Nebraska. But during his time there, he made it very clear, and he's been a defensive coordinator before. He was on Bill O'Brien's staff at Penn State for 1 year in 2012 as the special teams and linebackers coach, and then he shifted to the DBs coach, and then went on to be the defensive coordinator / defensive backs coach with the Texans when Bill O'Brien went down to Houston. So he spent that time there doing that, and then got hired on with the Bills, which everyone knows in the last 5 to 6 years has been a top 5, top 10 defense in the league.
Oh yeah, their defense has been impressive every year, no matter who's on the team.
They've been amazing. And Sean McDermott's always called the plays on that until the end of 22 happened. And heading into 23, ownership was like, hey, we'd really like you to focus on head coaching duties. You need to give up play calling on the defense. And so he promoted a guy that was lower than Butler was on his staff. And like, this is just a theory of mine. This is what I was talking about beforehand. I feel like it's one of those moves where it's kind of like when Frost had to give up play calling duties on the offense. It's like, I really want to put somebody in this position that I know is at least going to call it the way that I'm going to ask them to.
Right.
Not try and come up with their own shit. And that's not the way John Butler wants to be. He made it clear in an interview when he decided it was a mutual parting of ways with the Bills. This was not a performance-related thing. This wasn't a, air quotes, mutual parting. This was a true mutual parting because he expressed, I want to run my own defense. I want to do things my way and be a defensive coordinator at the college or NFL level. So to me, Cooper must have been Tony White's succession plan.
Yeah. Because I think we all know Tony White's not going to be here in the next 2 years.
Yeah, you wouldn't imagine. But I feel like in order to get him to come here, that had to be part of the promise. Like, hey, man, you've got an amazing background. Him and Rule come from the same part of the country. They're both Jersey, Philly, New York guys. I feel like that almost had to be part of the sale. Unless he was straight up just like, well, I just need a job this year. Which I don't imagine that's the case.
I don't know how he couldn't have had almost any open job that he wanted.
Yeah.
If he wasn't just waiting for that guarantee.
Waiting for the guarantee or waiting for the right offer.
Yeah.
Because, with the way the NFL is, there will probably be a defensive coordinator spot open mid-season.
True. But if he wants to make it his own, what better opportunity than to get in and understand that in the next 2 years, you're getting the reins.
Looking at what he's going to bring to Nebraska from a benefits perspective, you're an NFL DBs coach coming in. You know what it's like to coach the very best DBs in the entire world on your team.
Yep.
You're going to be able to look at dudes, recruits, and say, I see you as this person. It's not, I think I could turn you into this person. It's, no, I made this guy. I think I could make you into him.
These are the exact steps that I'm going to take, and you're going to do this when you're done.
Yeah, exactly. Not to mention, just he's been under a really good coach in Sean McDermott. He's been under some really good coaches. Going all the way back, he actually got his first Power 5 job in coaching back in 97 and 98 under Mac Brown at Texas.
Yep.
That's awesome. His year that he was at South Carolina was Steve Spurrier's last year there. So those are some big coaching names that he's worked under, along with Bill O'Brien, which Bill O'Brien's name was in the hat for the Nebraska job when Rule got it.
Right. Well, at least it was in our hat. Like, I don't know if he was actually talked to.
Yes, you're right. He was one of my top 2 guys because of rebuilding programs.
Yeah.
Have you seen anything else exciting that's got you going on it?
Just his entire resume is pretty impressive. His last 10 years in the NFL doing exactly this job. Penn State before that. He's got an impressive resume going back to 1995. And personally, I think his beard looks fantastic.
There's also some really cool videos out there that the Bills did of him like talking game film and things like that are really cool. We're getting some of that stuff posted out, and I know if you're out on Twitter, it's all over the place. This obviously it's not official, but you've got guys like Pete Thamel at On3. You've got KETV even reporting it now. Like, there's people reporting it nationally that don't report things unless it's true. I'm sure we're not going to hear anything about an official hire until Monday when they'll probably do a press conference, I would guess.
Yeah, I don't expect to see anything this weekend, but ESPN is reporting that they're hiring John Butler right now.
Yeah. So, it's done. It's probably something Rule wanted to keep close to the vest because,
well, he did a good job. We didn't know any of this change was happening 12 hours ago.
But if you're Rule, like Rule builds his staff, builds his team like a family, and this has got to really hurt.
Yeah.
Whatever happened, whatever's going on, not that we want to get into it, but we've heard some legal issues maybe coming. That's running around. There's the possibility that it's something, some sort of an illness or a family illness that he has to step away for. Whatever it is, I hope it's not bad. Like Jed said, I hope he didn't hurt somebody, and that it's something he can come back from. I'd really love to see him find his way back somehow, some way, because the dude was a surefire rising star.
Great coach.
Yeah, great coach. He's going to be missed for sure, especially in the scouting department.
You've seen current and former players today tweeting out quotes from him.
Yeah.
Clearly, he gets along well with his players and has done a great job.
Well,
so, whatever happened, I hope everybody's okay.
The Isaac Gifford quote, I don't know if that's the one you're referencing or not, from last night, when he put it out right after the news broke. Apparently, that's a quote like that they use in the DB room, but it's all about next man up. It's all about we keep going as a unit regardless of who falls off. It speaks to the leadership that he had in that room.
And this may be the most unbelievable night in Cornhusker football history.